A young girl is sent to live at a mansion by her father. She meets 7 vampire brothers there and they attempt to use her as a sacrificial bride. Will she survive? Episode 1. Yui Komori travels to visit and starts staying at a mansion. As she gets to the door of the mansion, she knocks, but no one answers her. She assumes they do not know she is coming, so she enters anyway. She calls for anyone in the room and eventually sees a boy lying on the chair. She goes to wake him up by tapping him, but he doesn't wake up. She notices he is cold and doesn't have a pulse, so she decides to call 911, thinking he is dead, but he rises and collects her phone from her. He asks what she is doing in their house and says she will be his prey. He overpowers her and tries to suck her blood. At this point, Yui doesn't know he is a vampire. As he does so, his brother Reiji arrives and warns him that they aren't allowed to do personal things in that part of the house. Yui runs to Reiji asking him to save her. She tells him that her father asked her to come there and told her she would be living there. Reiki says he isn't informed of such an arrangement, so she should follow him to meet the other brothers so they can discuss it. She goes to their room, where she meets 4 other guys. Shu, the eldest of them all, then Reiji, the second son, the boy she met outside. Ayato, Kanato, and Laito are triplets with a young brother Subaru. The 6 brothers are all vampires. Reiji asks his siblings what's happening and if they are informed about Yui's arrival. Shu eventually speaks. He says a man told him a week before that a girl was coming from the church and she was something like a prospective bride. The others laugh. They say she is more like food than a bride, but Shu tells them that they have been instructed not to kill her. She says she would like to call her father, but they break her phone. As she attempts to run off, she falls and starts bleeding. She sees how the brothers' faces light up and she discovers they are vampires. She gets terrified and she tries to run away. She attempts to use a phone booth in the sitting room to call, but it's disconnected. She then gets to the front door, but it's locked. She runs to an abandoned room, breaks the lock and enters. She sees several books and bumps into one of the shelves. A photo falls from a book, and she recognizes it as her childhood photographs. She sees her father's diary, and in the diary, she reads that her father adopted her. While she tries to take in that information, the brothers arrive. They wonder how she opened the door, but they warn her that she isn't going anywhere and she is stuck with them. Episode 2. They wake her up the next morning and tell her to prepare for school. As they drive to school, she notices the brothers do not get along and are different from each other. She is told that she will be in the same class as Ayato, and before the first class, Ayato asks her to cook for him. She reluctantly does so, although it causes her to miss her class. He tries to suck her blood, but Reiji stops her. At home, he throws her into the pool and she can't swim. He remembers some of his childhood memories before going to save her. He kisses her to wake up and he sucks her blood, and she begs him to stop. Later, she goes to the room to read her father's diary but finds out it's empty. Episode 3. After dinner, Yui enters the room and meets Ayato there. He tells her he wants to suck her blood but she should clean up first. She meets Shu in the bathroom and as they talk, she finds out from him that they are from different mothers. While Shu and Reiji are from one mother, the triplets are from another and Subaru is from another mother as well. As they talk, Shu enters the bathtub and she thinks he is sick. She holds him and he gets a childhood memory. He drags her into the water and sucks her blood to warn her not to hold him again. When Ayato finds her, he finds the spot and confronts Shu. He challenges him to a dart fight with Yui as the prize. Shu wins the fight and they throw Yui at him. Episode 4. She tries to run away again but bumps into Kanato. He hides her backpack and as she finds it, she sees Laito talking to the sky. Laito notices and attempts to suck her blood, but sees something in her blood. She escapes and finds a phone booth. She tries to call her father, but Laito picks up. He comes to her and she faints. When she wakes up, she runs to the chapel to pray for help, but Laito arrives. He tells her she can't get help from anywhere and is prepared to suck her blood. He then sucks her blood repeatedly and refuses to stop. Episode 5. She stands in the flower garden and she sees Kanato. He asks her to follow him to his mother's grave. She leaves because she wants to get him privacy, but he gets angry at her and attacks her and she falls. She walks around and hears noises from Reiji's room. She goes there and wakes him up. He wakes to the smell of her blood. He gives her one of his tea to drink and it's horrible that she breaks the cup. He gives her another herb which she collapses after drinking. She injures her and he feels like sucking her blood. As he sucks her, he remembers his mother when he killed her and how happy his mother was that he killed her. If you enjoyed the recap, kindly like our post and subscribe to our channel. Episode 6. She sees Kanato sitting by the burglary of the house. She feels concerned for him but wonders why she is worried about the brothers. She tells him to leave and he says he will only leave if she kisses him. She refuses, so he jumps down the building. She runs to meet him but he laughs, saying that a little fall can kill him, and if it could, he would have killed himself. He takes her to his lovely place where she sees several mannequin brides. He asks if she will join them and she finds out they were all once human. She refuses to become a mannequin. He attempts to suck her blood but Ayato enters and calls him. She appreciates Ayato, who says he doesn't care and sucks her blood. As she walks away, she meets Subaru and he tells her to leave. She goes to pack her loads but she changes her mind and she says she wants to know why she is there. So Subaru gives her a silver knife that can kill vampires to protect herself. When she returns to her room, she meets Lito. She threatens to kill him, but he says murder is the best way to show love to a vampire, and he is interested in her. Episode 7. Yui wakes up at midnight and sees a strange woman. She walks with her into a tunnel where she sees the brothers and their mothers. She also discovers that the woman she saw earlier is Cordelia, the triplets' mother, and Cordelia has always forced Ayato to read. She wakes up undergoing and meets Ayato with her. He warns her not to come there when it rains. Lito also arrives and asks to suck Yui, and he sucks her blood with Ayato. However, Ayato notices something in Yui's blood. Episode 8. She goes to ask the triplet who Cordelia is. They tell her she is their mother and they killed her. A flashback shows Ayato torturing Cordelia, and she goes to Lito for help, but Lito pushes her down the cliff and Kanato burns her. Upon hearing this, Yui runs off. She bumps into Subaru, who sucks her blood and tells her the reason he gave her the knife is so she can kill him, and if she can't do that, then she will kill herself. She returns to her room to sleep. Later, she sees Ayato cuddling her to bed. Episode 9. She cannot sleep, so she goes to the abandoned church where she meets Shu. She confides in him that she has been hearing a woman's voice and she is feeling weak. He tastes her blood, figures it tastes different, and says the reawakening is here. Richter, the brother's uncle she saw with Cordelia in a trance, arrives. He takes her away and she asks why she is chosen. He laughs at her, saying she isn't chosen but she is just the nearest one, and her father isn't involved. He takes her to a place and makes her touch Cordelia's clothes. Cordelia wakes inside of her and everyone in the house notices it. Episode 10. While Richter and Cordelia catch up with old times, Ayato asks what has been done to Yui. Richter tells him he removed Cordelia's heart before she died and he has implanted it in Yui, although Yui is still struggling to survive, so Cordelia hasn't woken completely. Ayato goes to meet Cordelia beside the water and throws her inside. Yui regains consciousness and Ayato starts sucking her blood. Lito and Kanato also arrive to suck her blood. She runs inside and meets Subaru, who sucks her too. Richter tells her her blood is too delicious and will cause conflict and death between the brothers, so she should think of what to do. She walks towards Cordelia and lets Cordelia take over her. Episode 11. Reiji goes to meet Cordelia and she seduces him. He refuses her, so she slaps him. The triplets also arrive and Subaru goes to fight Richter for killing his mother, but Richter overpowers him. He tells them none of them can kill him. Cordelia asks Richter to kill the boys, saying that if he does, she will make him the head of their family. But he laughs. He tells her he will be the head of the family without her, which is why he preserved her heart so he could use her. So she wasn't the one using him but the other way around. He attempts to suck her blood, but Ayato tells him Yui belongs to him. Ayato gets into a fight with Richter, but he gets stabbed. Before he does, Yui regains her body and picks up Subaru's knife. She decides to kill herself for peace and Richter tries to take her heart, so Ayato stabs him. Cordelia takes Yui's body and says once the reawakening is complete, she will take over completely. Episode 12. Richter leaves to find Cordelia's body but Lito finds him. The other brothers think of a way to send Cordelia away from Yui's body. Reiji tells them he has poison, but he needs a piece of Cordelia's body, so Kanato brings out Cordelia's ashes from his teddy. After mixing the poison, Ayato drinks it and kisses Yui with it. The poison chases Cordelia away and Yui wakes up. On the other hand, Lito burns Richter with Cordelia's clothes in the room. Thanks for watching our video. If you want us to recap the next season, let us know in the comments section.